Now on CoastTV News.
The cold continues today, but not as windy. We are watching a system taking shape to the west that will bring some snow. Still a question of just how much. I'll have the latest on the cold and snow potential coming up.
Wind woes. We continue to see the effects of strong gusts hitting Delmarva and the strain it put on utility companies in dealing with power outages.
Road work impact. The latest effort on the Millsboro Bypass project is creating issues for those who live in the town.
Farewell voyage. An old luxury liner about to leave for its final destination. When we expect the ship to make its way past the Delaware Bay here and into the Atlantic Ocean.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And it is Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
And people back to work, back to school today. I know many had off yesterday. They got a little extended weekend out of the deal.
It was a nice day. The sun was deceiving, though, because that wind yesterday was brutal. So hopefully if you were off, you had indoor plans. I don't know if you went outside at all yesterday.
I did to clean out my truck because I was off, and yeah, it hit you when you opened that door and went outside.
Bob and I yesterday were talking about how you could just hear it ripping through your apartment building. But good morning, Bob. It's much better today wind-wise.
Good morning, Elisa, and Matt. Good morning, Delmarva. Yeah, those winds not as ferocious as they were yesterday, but it's still breezy out there and cold. 29 in Georgetown, 30 in Delmar, 30 in Bethany Beach, and Rehoboth at 30 degrees. We've got northwesterly winds now around 5 to 15 miles per hour, but gusting close to 20 in some places, so not nearly as windy as yesterday, but feels like temperatures are down there in the low 20s in some places. Feels like 19 in Milton, 20 in Georgetown right now. And we have some cloud cover out there at the present time. Nothing in the way of precipitation. We still remain in this cold northwesterly flow, so we'll see some clouds today, and the cold conditions continue. Here's Futurecast this morning. Upper 20s, but feeling like teens. Make sure you bundle up. And then by mid-morning into the mid-20s, some clouds at the noon hour with 20s and low 30s, and maybe getting into the mid-30s later this afternoon. But a lot of us stuck in the lower 30s. It will be a very cold day that continues into this evening as temperatures slowly climb through the 20s into the low to maybe mid-30s, feeling like teens at times with the wind, and then feeling like 20s into this afternoon.
All right, thanks, Bob. And those high winds, they hammered across Delmarva over the weekend. The effects can be seen right here in Seaford. Look at the force from those gusts knocking down trees and power for thousands across Delmarva. Crews from Delmarva Power and the Delaware Co-op worked overnight Sunday to restore power to all of its customers.
New this morning, crews are continuing to battle this massive fire at an industrial building in Pennsylvania. A shelter-in-place order has been issued for those within a half-mile radius of the complex. Locals have been advised to stay inside due to dangerous smoke and air quality concerns from that fire at the SPS Technologies building. Officials say everyone has been accounted for, and so far no injuries have been reported.
Developing news in Millsboro. Route 113 has lane closures now until February 28th. The announcement comes after DelDOT says there is the need for installing underground pipes. This is all related to the Millsboro Bypass project. It's a project that's been in the work for quite some time, and we went to Millsboro to learn how this project and this particular closure is affecting them. Here's what one man told us.
I hope it does not make our deliveries take way longer than they're supposed to. Well, I feel if the lane closures are going to delay our deliveries, we will have less time to dash, so less income.
And you can see and hear that wind there. Now, with this latest part of the project, drivers most likely will need to use alternative routes to get around the work area.
Happening today, the Ocean City Council is expected to make a final decision on whether or not to add a 5-day minimum length stay for residential areas and mobile homes in the town. CoastTV sat down with realtors on this topic, and they say owners who rent out their property rely on that income to survive, and they believe that if passed, property value in those areas would go down. However, the town says the main reason for this being proposed is to keep neighborhoods from feeling like hotel districts.
The council is trying to strike that balance, allowing some rental activity to occur, but trying to maintain the character of those neighborhoods.
And the 5-day minimum wouldn't be the only change. The council has already passed a regulation. Each bedroom can only have 2 people maximum. And if approved, this 5-day minimum would not be an impact any prior bookings that were made before January 29th of this year. Also, at an earlier council meeting this month, the council approved an 11th-month moratorium on new short-term rental licenses in the single-family residential and mobile home residential districts.
We have a similar debate taking place in Milton. Town officials there continuing work on potential regulations of short-term rentals. And happening today, the town's Planning and Zoning Commission will review an advisory report. Some people who CoastTV spoke with have had experience with short-term rentals in the town. New regulations could affect how they operate their property.
I did try to have a local person be here longer term, and he didn't pay his rent. So, and I just honestly can't afford to subsidize someone else who's not paying their rent.
Milton Mayor John Collier says town officials are comparing the short-term rental policies in other communities and helping develop his town's regulations. This brings us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know, what's the biggest downside of
On those in a moment.
There we
Here
go.
we go. Now it's back up. All right, so 58% of voters say it's hard to enforce, 22% say it hurts tourism, 16% say no downside, and 4% say less rental income. And if you haven't voted yet, you can still do so on coasttv.com or on our mobile app. And this morning in Snow Hill, you have a chance to weigh in on a zoning bill that could impact marine businesses and public utilities. The Worcester County Commissioners are holding a public hearing at 10:30 a.m. to get input on Emergency Bill 2501. The proposal clarifies rules for marine activities, and the county also says it strengthens support for the fishing industry and adjusts where public utility centers can be built. If you want to share your thoughts, head to that hearing today in Worcester County Government Center.
Happening today, we are expecting the SS United States to leave Philadelphia and make its way to the Delaware Bay and eventually out to the Atlantic Ocean. Today marks the latest attempt to get the former luxury ocean liner into our part of the ocean and on its way to Mobile, Alabama. The ship was active in the 1950s and 60s before it was retired in 1969. Once arriving in the Gulf of Mexico, it will be sunk and it will serve as part of an artificial reef. Monday's high gust delayed its departure. The SS United States is expected to leave Philadelphia at low tide just after 12 p.m.
We are now taking a live look at the White House, and today the Trump administration's officials are meeting with their counterparts in Russia, seeking an end to the country's war in Ukraine. However, Ukraine is not involved with these talks.
This as Democrats ramp up nationwide protests with more cuts to the federal workforce.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us the issues domestically and abroad as the Trump administration continues to make big moves during Trump's first 100 days in office.
High-level talks to end Russia's war on Ukraine beginning this morning in Saudi Arabia, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio and other Trump foreign policy advisors sitting down with their Russian counterparts. For now, Ukraine is not at the table for negotiations that could trade away Russian-seized Ukrainian territory. Ukraine's president has told NBC News his country will not accept a deal it's not part of.
We have to be there, otherwise it's not acceptable.
President Trump says Ukraine will be included in negotiations. An administration envoy is expected in the country this week.
Elon Musk has got to go! Hey, hey!
Here at home, a President's Day of protest across the country over federal worker job cuts through Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. The latest layoffs include close to 300 FAA employees, just as real-world incidents are raising alarm. The Transportation Secretary says no air traffic controllers or critical safety staff were let go. Those who were cut say remaining workers are stretched thin.
Even for the people that are still there, their workload has drastically increased.
And NBC News confirmed the top Social Security Administration official resigned after refusing to give DOJ teams access to sensitive information. After similar concerns were raised at the IRS, the White House insisted DOJ would not go through the records of regular Americans.
What we're talking about is at the programmatic level, being able to analyze and assess for signs and symptoms of fraud.
Despite protests, the Trump team pressing ahead. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
Yeah, coming up, Milford Master Plan will tell you how responses to a survey will help determine the direction the city wants to take.
Also, plans after eminent domain pushback will tell you the ideas for a park in Milford after one property owner won a debate over her land.
And DSP blood transfusion benefits. How new skills for state troopers could significantly improve survival rates for trauma patients. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Get ready to run, walk, or stroll for a great cause. The 12th annual Lucky Leprechaun 5K is back in Milton on Sunday, March 9th. Start your day with a fun 5K at 11 a.m. Then stick around for the 17th annual Milton St. Patrick's Day Parade at 2. Your race supports the Milton Fire Department, the Milton Chamber of Commerce, and the Women's Club of Milton. Sign up now for just $35 or $40 on race day. Don't miss this St. Patrick's Day tradition. Coast Country Cares, sponsored by Spicer Brothers.
Vacation starts with VA. All that you love, all in one trip. Start yours at virginia.org.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new, clinically proven Legzercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
After using Legzercise for a week, I felt like I wanted to go for a walk again without pain like I used to.
Legzercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
It's helped with the swelling and the pain. The tingling feeling is gone.
Call right now and order your very own Legzercise Pro, the clinically proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call now.
Today at 4 on Coast Life, rising sea levels are erasing natural breeding islands for colonial water birds, but a groundbreaking floating island project is giving them a second chance. See how it's making waves. Today at 4 on Coast TV.
5:12 on this cold Tuesday morning. Bay Health Cam right now, 28 degrees. We still have some wind out there. 30 in Seaford, 29 in Milton, 31 in Ocean City. Still seeing gusty winds, not to the degree like we saw yesterday. Feels like temperatures lower 20s in some cases. For the rest of us, mid to upper 20s. Here's a bus stop forecast for the kiddos. Make sure they're bundled up. 29 off to school, breezy and cold, and heading home still cold and breezy, and 33.
Thank you, Bob. In Millsboro, Denrec is announcing that Ingram's Pond boat ramp will be closed starting next Monday so that crews can build a brand new ramp for boaters. The agency says that work will be done in May.
Delaware State Police say they are expanding their efforts in responding to emergency situations. Troopers are now equipped to administer whole blood transfusions at the scene. A move officials say could significantly improve survival rates for trauma patients. To mark this program's launch, members of the DSP Aviation Section participated in a blood drive at the blood bank of Delmarva.
Southwest Airlines is announcing it will cut 15% of its corporate workforce, more than 1,700 people. This is the first mass layoff in the company's history, and those cuts are expected to start in April and will include senior leadership. Southwest says it expects the layoffs will save the company $210 million this year and $300 million next year.
Ford F-150, no longer America's #1 vehicle. Data from JTO Dynamics found Toyota's RAV4 dethroned the F-150. The pickup truck was in the top spot for decades, and researchers say the RAV4's hybrid powertrain, that's the big reason for its rise in popularity.
Still ahead, plans after eminent domain pushback will tell you how the city says it will still use one property owner's land after losing a heated debate to another.
Here's a live look at the Spicer Brothers Camp 29 in Salisbury. Nice and dry, but the cold continues, but not as windy. And we are watching for some snow later Wednesday into Thursday with some accumulation expected. I'll track it on Futurecast coming up in 2 minutes.
Download the Coast TV News app on your Apple or Android devices.
Who wants to drag out a bulky vacuum? Introducing Horsepower Duck, a super compact vac with ultra powerful suction. Clean up that mess in the kitchen, the spill on the sofa, even sawdust in the workshop. Just duck it up. The compact design can reach the tightest places, so store it in any drawer where it's always at your fingertips. You can even store it in your glove box for the ultimate car vac. The HEPA filter helps remove dust and allergens. Plus, it dumps out with ease, so it's ready to clean again. Get the Horsepower Duck hand vac for just $39.99. Order right now and we'll upgrade you to the Duck Pro package, a $30 value, yours free. You get the bendable tube, the crevice nozzle, and the soft brush nozzle, but supplies are limited, so there's a strict limit of 3 ducks per order. This may be your last chance to get yours at this low price, so don't delay. Duck it up today.
Call 1-800-581-3085 or visit duckback.com. So call 1-800-581-3085 or visit duckback.com now.
Is your cookware scratched inside and an eyesore on the outside? Introducing Gotham Steel Hammered Cream Cookware. Forged with an authentic hammered design, engineered with extremely strong titanium and tri-coated with ultra non-stick ceramic. Gotham Steel features double the non-stick release. Now you can cook healthier without all the butter or oil. Get this huge 15-piece set for 4 payments of $49.99 with free shipping.
To order, call 1-800-513-6408.
Local news is really important, especially right now. Local news is still largely trusted by the people in the community that they cover, and a big part of that is because we're out in the community every day. We're meeting people, we're talking to people, we're telling their specific stories, because there's a lot of people that want to know what's going on here. There's a lot of people that have opinions about what's going on here. That matters from a journalistic standpoint.
Coast TV, our community, your news, where every story hits close to home.
Listen to Big 107.7, Delmarva's classic rock station.
Approaching 5:17, and you are looking live at a cold early Tuesday morning in Ocean City. Bob, at least the wind chill won't be much of a factor when we're talking cold.
No, because the winds are not as strong. But, Matt, the temperatures are lower, so then you add some wind, and it's kind of a, 50-50 proposition. Here's the storyline for today. It's breezy, not windy. We're going to see gusts of 25 miles per hour, and those feels like temperatures in the 20s. And we're still watching for some snow, possibly significant, especially farther south, later Wednesday into Thursday. Already winter storm watch for Sussex County. This goes into effect later tonight and then continues into Thursday evening, where we have the potential for snow. I think a better chance farther south, Cambridge to Salisbury and Snow Hill, a winter storm watch, and then a winter storm warning from Chincoteague and farther south there. I think you could see maybe at least a half a foot of snow. Right now it's cold, 30 in Delmar, 29 in Redden, 29 in Seaford, 31 in Ocean City, 30 in Bethany Beach, and the winds not as strong as they have been, with gusts over 20 miles per hour at the coast, so it feels like temperatures now into the low to mid 20s. So bundle up out the door. We are seeing some cloud cover right now. Nothing in the way of snow this morning, as we're still in this cold northwesterly flow, but we are watching this system now that will affect us somewhat across the plains with some snow from Kansas on into Missouri. Here's Futurecast this morning. We're into the mid to upper 20s. It's going to be cold all day long. By 10 a.m., upper 20s and only lower 30s by 2:30 with partly cloudy skies. Very cold as we go through the evening hours into the 20s. Wednesday morning, very cold, bone-chilling cold with temperatures in the upper teens, and then mainly cloudy skies as we go through the noon hour. And then we are watching for the potential of a high impact storm, mainly south, southern tip of Delmarva down through Virginia into the Carolinas. There we could see some travel disruptions, closings, and significant snow. For us farther north, well, not so much, as the system looks like it's tracking south. Heaviest snow, southern Delmarva, maybe getting into Chincoteague and Ocean City with very light snow for Sussex County. And then the storm explodes offshore. Maybe a little burst of snow for us as we go into the afternoon, as we go into your Thursday. And this model coming in with even lesser snow amounts than yesterday, with less than an inch from Highway 9 to the north, maybe 0.8 in Millsboro, a little bit over an inch in Selbyville and Fenwick Island, and maybe about 2 into Ocean City. So not a big system for us. And feels like temperatures into the teens this morning and only into the 20s this afternoon. So feeling really cold with that wind. By tomorrow morning, feeling feeling like 10 to 15 above, and feeling like 20s with the wind. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 34 today. There is a red alert later Wednesday and Thursday, but that's worst case scenario. Right now, not a big event, probably less than 3 inches of snow. 39 Friday, then warming up into the weekend through the 40s, up to 50 by Monday. Congratulations to Audrey Jenkins from Hurlock, Maryland, on winning a new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV.
Thank you, Bob. Developing news in Milford. Plans continue to be worked on for an area called Deep Branch Park. Now, this week, those plans will be reviewed by Sussex County's Planning and Zoning Commission. Milford wants to transform the 19.4-acre parcel into a park. This is on Rehoboth Boulevard. Some ideas for it include playgrounds, pickleball courts, and walking trails. Some people who live nearby say that despite some benefits, there are some issues.
What concerns me is basically the security, because we've got a lot of older people living on that side, and they really don't have backyards, so the park will be like right up against their backyard.
And the original idea for the park was involved in a since-scrapped case of eminent domain. That caused a lot of controversy. This new plan does not include any of property on that owner's land.
Up next on Coast TV News today, Milford Master Plan will tell you what one local says needs to be a top focus in the city. Don't go anywhere.
I've needed a new left hip for about 15 years. The last 2 cortisone shots I got were bone on bone, and they didn't last 6 months. They lasted maybe a month. I was in a lot of pain. The staff at the Joint Surgery Center at Atlantic General Hospital were incredibly helpful. I was back to work 2 days short of a month, which I found amazing. You learn to trust people when you get good care.
Start your journey to relief today. Atlantic General Hospital, expert care every day.
Listen to Big 107.7, Delmarva's classic rock station.
Capture your favorite moments at the Coast TV photo booth. Strike a pose and snap a pic, all for free. View previous pictures and see the next event at coasttv.com under the Features tab. The Coast TV photo booth, sponsored by Baths by Spicer Brothers.
Stay tuned to get a free automatic toilet bowl cleaner from Mermaid. Your sink stopper's broken, and fixing a drain is a pain. Introducing Mermaid Drain Magic, the instant solution to most broken drains. Just remove and replace. In seconds, you can fill and drain with a simple press of a button. Drain Magic makes replacing your old, broken, rusty, even missing sink stoppers fast and easy. Drain Magic's anti-clogging basket helps prevent clogs in your sink, catching hair, food, even jewelry. Made with brass and chrome and a silicone gasket, it creates a watertight seal. Order your Mermaid Drain Magic today for only $19.99 and get a Mermaid toilet bowl cleaner absolutely free. Drop it in the tank for up to 3 months of cleaning. But wait, this could be your last chance to get Drain Magic at this low price with free toilet bowl cleaner. There's a strict limit of 3, so order now.
Call 1-800-944-6857 or visit getdrainmagic.com. So call 1-800-944-6857 or visit getdrainmagic.com now.
This is the revolutionary socket fan by Bell & Howell. The amazing 2-in-1 ceiling fan and light. If you can screw in a light bulb, you can hang the socket fan light. Socket fan comes with this handy remote. You can control the light and the breeze that you need. Socket fan fits any standard light socket. You can do it yourself in less than 10 seconds.
And now, the socket fan lights with deep socket extender is yours for $49.95 with free shipping. Order now, and you can get a second fan for 50% off.
Get cool fast with Socket Fan.
Download the free Coast TV First Alert weather app with live satellite and radar, severe weather alerts, and extended forecast. Sponsored by Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Track the storm with Coast TV First Alert weather. Weather coverage that prioritizes you, your safety, our commitment.
In Milford, a community survey is gathering feedback to help construct a master plan for the city. The mayor says responses will help determine which areas need attention and guide improvements moving forward. Some community members already have some suggestions.
I think there needs to be more downtown residences for people to live and be close to where they're working. I would say more housing that's would be here that would attract young families that are growing. We have so many more apartments and townhomes, and we need something that's a little bit a step up from that.
Starting on March 6th, that survey will be open to everyone in Milford. Matt, there's only 10 days left in February, which means you're slowly getting closer to beach season, but not so fast.
Yeah, slowly. Shortest month of the year. Spoiler alert, Bob. It doesn't feel like beach weather.
No, it does not yet, but there is hope on the horizon. Eventually spring will do its thing, but not anytime soon. Ocean City and Fenwick Island, we're looking at upper 20s this morning and then lower 30s with partly cloudy skies. It will be breezy, but not as windy, but feels like temperatures in the 20s much of the day. Fenwick Island into the mid 30s, and then farther up the coast, Lewis and Rehoboth, you're barely getting above freezing today with partly cloudy skies. Waves about 2 to 4 feet. And on the bay side, we're looking at temperatures in the lower 30s in Cambridge with partly cloudy skies, and Crisfield, well, pretty chilly as well. A mix of sun and clouds and temperatures in the mid-30s.
After the break on Coast TV News today, lane closures continue in Millsboro as the bypass project moves forward. We'll tell you how DelDOT says that detour is necessary and when work is set to be complete.
Also, Milton aims for affordable housing, the latest plans in the town to deal with the cost of having a home.
And Ocean City reaches rental regulations. We'll tell you about some of the locals' concerns for the new required stay for short-term rentals in the coastal town. Coast TV News today. We'll be right back.
Are you having trouble hearing your TV or listening to conversations in loud spaces? Then it might be time to consider Nano hearing aids. Nanos are FDA-registered OTC hearing aids. Don't be fooled by overpriced hearing aids. Prescription hearing aids could cost $3,000 or more. Nano hearing aids are now offering $100 off through this special TV offer. Call now and get 2 CIC rechargeable hearing aids for only $297. And if you're not happy, return them for a full refund.
Every story that we do, number one, it affects us as well because we live here and this is our community as well. A lot of times in the media in general, there are stories that are put out that maybe are not the most popular. Maybe people don't want us to do certain stories, or maybe people question why are we doing those stories. But I just want our viewers to realize that there is a motivation for every story that we do. Our longtime owner, Mr. Thomas Draper, had a saying that we have a moral obligation to serve the people of Delmarva. And that saying really still rings true to this day in how we make our news coverage decisions. It doesn't necessarily mean the stories that we cover will be the most popular. Some people don't want light to be shed on those stories. But I hope viewers can understand there is a motivation for everything that we do, because at our core is the belief that we have that moral obligation to serve them, to give them news that is important to their communities, that could help them on their day-to-day activities. That is something that we always live with, and we have that through line through all of our work. And I just hope people can understand that is really what motivates us to get through every single story we do.
Coast TV, our community, your news. Now on Coast TV News.
Cold continues today, but not as windy. We are watching a system taking shape to the west that will bring some snow. Still a question of just how much. I'll have the latest on the cold and snow potential coming up.
5-day rental fight, the battle in Ocean City over short-term rentals. Why property owners are pushing against that length of stay that would be mandated in new regulations.
Dangerous smoke, that is what officials are saying about this massive fire overnight in Pennsylvania and why a shelter-in-place order was issued.
Lane closure concern as work continues at the Millsboro bypass. How this latest part of the project is causing issues for people who live in the town.
This is Coast TV News Today.
February 18th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
Time is 5:29, and after an extended weekend, I guess I participated in that.
You did.
It's back to school for many students out there. I'm sure they're happy about that.
I think so. I forgot my mom was off yesterday because she's a teacher, and I called my dad, and then I heard my mom in the background. And I'm like, oh, I totally forgot. I'm like, get to work, Mom. Come on. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But, Bob, if you had off yesterday, it was definitely cold outside. You wanted to stay indoors. cold today.
It is still cold today as it's back to work and school for a lot of folks. Not as windy, so that's good, but it's cold. 29 in Georgetown, 30 in Bethany Beach, 29 in Rehoboth, 29 in Salisbury. But we've got that wind, that ever-present wind, around 5 to 15 miles per hour sustained, gusting up to 20 in places. So feeling much colder with the wind. 20 is what it feels like in Georgetown, 25 in Ocean City, 23 in Bethany Beach. We do have some cloud cover this morning, and that's what we'll see today. Partly cloudy skies. We continue in this northwesterly flow. As Futurecast is showing upper 20s this morning, but feeling much colder with the wind. So make sure you bundle up mid-morning. Look at this, only upper 20s, and that's a case by noon, maybe 30 in Salisbury and Selbyville, and a lot of us barely cracking that freezing mark by 2:30, 32 in Long Neck, 31 in Georgetown, and then still very cold this evening, but the winds will start to diminish. Here's your DriveCast. I give it the green light for the morning commute. Breezy and cold, dry roads, but still breezy. Make sure you hang on to that steering wheel tightly, and then breezy and cold for the afternoon and evening commute.
Thank you, Bob. And high winds hammered across Delmarva this weekend, and the effects can be seen right here on your screen. This was in Seaford, and you can see the force from those gusts knock down trees and power for thousands. Across Delmarva, crews from Delmarva Power and Delaware Co-op worked overnight Sunday to restore power to all of its customers.
Happening now, crews making headway of containing a massive fire. This is at an industrial building in Pennsylvania. It led to a shelter-in-place order for those within a half-mile radius of the complex. It's in suburban Philadelphia. People living in the area, they've been advised to stay inside due to dangerous smoke and air quality concerns from the fire at SPS Technologies in Bucks County. Officials say everyone has been accounted for. So far, no injuries have been reported.
Happening today, the Ocean City Council is expected to make a final decision on whether or not to add a 5-day minimum length stay for residential areas and mobile homes in the town. CoastTV sat down with realtors on this topic, and they say owners who rent out their property rely on that income to survive. And if that is passed, they believe property value in those areas would go down. However, the town says the main reason for this being proposed is to keep neighborhoods from feeling like hotel districts. That meeting is tonight at 6 p.m.
Affordable and workforce housing is back up for discussion in Milton today. The Planning and Zoning Commission will review an advisory report from the Affordable Housing Committee to figure out how to bring affordable housing to the town. Some ideas with the town council include working with nonprofit housing developers and having an informational kiosk with resources. Milton's Planning and Zoning Commission will go over this at tonight's meeting.
When you drive through Millsboro, what you see on your screen is usually what you will see on the road, but now you're going to see a lot of road work right there on Route 113, mostly during the nighttime.
Yeah, CoastTV News reporter Brendan Conroy shows us how long DelDOT says the work will last and who could be most impacted by these nighttime closures.
Delays, detours, and lots of improvements. That's the scene on Route 113 in Millsboro as improvements to the North Millsboro Bypass project are being completed. Both northbound and southbound lanes will be closed for about 12 hours a day. Santos Torres lives in Millsboro and says this could be a big burden as he travels that road every day for his job as a DoorDasher.
We already have an issue getting across the bridge.
And told CoastTV he hopes these delays and changes don't affect his daily routine or income.
But I hope it does not make our deliveries take way longer than they're supposed to.
These lane closures are due to the installation of underground pipes to the Millsboro bypass. On the other side of things, Joe Schroeder is working on a job in Millsboro. He says he just takes a different route.
I have an alternate way of coming through the back way of Dagsboro to reach the job site here, so it won't really affect me as much as a lot of other people.
These closures will continue until the end of the month, weather permitting. For CoastTV News, I'm Brendan Conroy.
And those lanes are expected to be reopened during those nighttime hours on February 28th. Until then, a detour might be the best option.
The $130 million Millsboro Bypass project has been decades in the making. Discussions on this project go all the way back to the 1990s. Project first broke ground in 2023, and DelDOT says construction is set to end this year. Along with a bypass and overpass is being planned to be built at routes 113 and 20. 4 bridges are planned to be built along the bypass, with some of those going over Millsboro Pond.
Just after 12 p.m. today, the SS United States is scheduled to leave Philadelphia and make its way to the Delaware Bay and eventually out to the Atlantic Ocean. The ship was active in the 1950s and 60s before it was retired in 1969. And once arriving in the Gulf of Mexico, it will be sunk and serve as a part of an artificial reef. Monday's high gust delayed its departure, and the SS United States is expected to leave Philadelphia at low tide just after noon.
In Worcester County, officials there are working on how to regulate its commercial marine district. The district is designed to protect the commercial fishing industry. County commissioners are holding a public hearing at 10:30 this morning to get input on an emergency bill. The proposal clarifies rules for marine activities and adjusts where public utility facilities can be located.
Canada's Transportation Safety Board is continuing to investigate the cause of a plane crash on the tarmac at the Toronto Pearson International Airport. That crash left the regional jet overturned upon landing, and according to officials, no one was killed. However, of the 80 people on board, 18 were injured in that crash.
With it being that gusty, I think it's possible the wing may have touched the runway due to a gust. And if that's the case, then the rest of this makes sense. But the recorders are going to show that.
Airport officials say the injuries are all relatively minor, and it's still not clear what exactly caused that crash.
We've still got a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, pushback amid cutbacks. We'll tell you why some people on Delmarva are voicing concerns towards the Trump administration and how leaders aim to deliver campaign promises.
Also, EasyAct Championship competition from last night, how it was a Royals sweep in both boys and girls basketball.
Farm pushback to a DelDOT project. Will tell you how businesses are relieved after the agency rescheduled roadwork they say would negatively impact profits. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Turn your dreams of a perfect kitchen into reality with That Cabinet Store, where a dedicated team of designers will bring your vision to life. Whether it's traditional or European, kitchen design is our specialty. And we can get your fully customized kitchen cabinets installed in as little as 4 weeks, semi-custom in 10 days. And if you're looking for new countertops, we offer quality in-house fabricated countertops. Dream today, designs for tomorrow at That Cabinet Store, located with Matt the Carpet Guy in Selbyville and Salisbury.
For greatness. Get more with DSN Plus. Subscribe today.
Vacation starts with VA. All that you love, all in one trip. Start yours at virginia.org.
You like to keep your beard perfectly groomed, but she hates all that mess. Now there's VacuTrim by Bell & Howell, the total body shaver that trims your hair and vacuums it up. VacuTrim stainless steel blades give you a precision cut, while the built-in vacuum captures the hair shavings. It has 20 trim settings to shape your beard and tame body hair with no mess. Get VacuTrim with free shipping for only $39.95.
Call 1-800-263-0608. That's 1-800-263-0608 or go to vacutrim.com.
Today at 4 on Coast Life, rising sea levels are erasing natural breeding islands for colonial water birds, but a groundbreaking floating island project is giving them a second chance. See how it's making waves. Today at 4 on Coast TV.
5:38 on our Tuesday morning. It's cold, 131 in Ocean City on the Dry Tech cam right now. Some clouds out there. Looking at temperatures, cold in the upper 20s and low 30s right now. And wind gusts about 10, 20 miles per hour, knocking that feels like temperature down into the low 20s inland areas, mid 20s at the coast. So bundle up. We are seeing some clouds out there. We're not going to see any snow today. That'll change tomorrow into Thursday, but we will continue to see a cold northwesterly flow. Today's checklist: hat, scarf, gloves for sure. Don't need the umbrella, don't need the snow shovel, but make sure you know its location. Need the winter coat, warm beverage, and sunglasses. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico.
Thank you, Bob. A local farm is breathing a sigh of relief after DelDOT revised its timeline for road work. Monday, we reported that the Route 20 bridge rehab project was originally set to stretch into mid-July. That's right in the middle of Bennett Orchard's Pick Your Own Peach and Blueberry season. But now the work will wrap up by May 16th, according to DelDOT.
Farming is challenging enough. We deal with Mother Nature, we deal with diseases, impacts to our crop, a lot of things that are challenging for us that are out of our control. This shouldn't be something that we have to worry about.
And the closure on Armory Road, this is between Dukes Road and Omar Road, it still brings challenges, especially for Indian River High School. That's just about a mile away, but DelDOT says detours will be in place to help drivers navigate these changes.
Looking ahead, here's a quick traffic alert for drivers to be aware of next week in Lewis. Dorman Road between Route 24 and Conley's Chapel Road will be closed for a pipe replacement project starting next Monday, and it will be closed through March 10th.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning. The basketball ECAG conference titles were up for grabs last night. Let's start with the boys. Delmarva Christian versus Worcester Prep. Malachi Light flipping the light on for the Royals. He had 8 early points. On the other side, Ben Anthony with the putback for Worcester Prep in the first. Then Light at it again, knocking a 3 down from the corner, but the Mallards would respond. Owen West drilling it from deep right there. 1 of 3 triples for West early on, and more from Anthony, this time finding James Haley depositing 2. But here comes the Royals, up 5, and Darius Lyles extending that lead, hitting that shot. Delmarva Christian sweeps the conference championship, taking care of business in the boys' game, 69-43. Light led the way with 22 points. In the girls' game, ECAC finals, Lainey Dukes on the inbound finds Evelyn Bokinski, who knocks down the mid-range jumper. On the other end, St. Peter's and Paul Lucy Rankin finds Nope and Avery McCall, and the 3 ball is nothing but net. Sabres ahead 5-2 shortly after. The Royals setting the trap, and it's Dukes coming up with a steal, and she takes it all the way for 2 to cut into the lead. Delmarva Christian knocks off St. Peter and Paul 53-42 and takes the conference title. And Dover defeated Salesianum 43-39 in boys basketball. The Senators improved to 14-3 on the season, winning their 8th game in a row. The Sallies fall to 8-11 on the year. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 7, we have live Delaware girls high school basketball when Appoquinimink takes on Smyrna. Then at 10:30, it's a recap of all the action on the final score. In addition to that game on the DSN Plus app, here are your exclusives. At 4, we have Henlopen Conference girls basketball when Indian River visits Laurel. 5:15, Sussex Tech home with Early College. We have Bayside Conference boys basketball for you at 5:30 with Bennett and Mardella. Smyrna plays at St. George's at 6.
Today in entertainment news, an Oscar-winning filmmaker takes on an iconic story, and 2 new documentaries highlight different aspects of Native American life. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
It's like it had this kind of this immersive, like it just kind of grabbed you. And
Oppenheimer co-star Matt Damon is reuniting with Christopher Nolan on The Odyssey. Universal Pictures released this photo of Damon in the lead role of Odysseus. The star-studded cast also includes Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, Anne Hathaway, Charlize Theron, Tom Holland, and Zendaya. The adaptation of Homer's classic tale is due in theaters in July of 2026.
They were reckless and they destroyed our land. They did away with our fathers. They killed a lot of people in the form of genocide.
2 new documentaries focus on Native Americans. Trinity looks at the effects of the first nuclear tests on Navajo Nation and other nearby residents, with first-person accounts by witnesses, local miners, and those who just lived downwind of the blast.
By leaving, I got more experience and more education. I got to know these wonderful people in the world, city of Philadelphia, but you're Lakota, you're Native, you're still gonna come back.
Without Arrows tracks a Lakota family over 13 years, both their struggle to survive and the vibrancy of the culture they hope to pass on to future generations. Both films are available now on DVD and VOD platforms. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It's a dry and cold morning out there, 29 in Salisbury. It's breezy as well. The cold continues, but not as windy. We're watching for some snow later Wednesday into Thursday with some accumulations, lighter north, heavier south. I'll track it on a future cast coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Download the free Coast TV First Alert Weather app today.
Draper Media, an equal opportunity employer, is dedicated to provide broad outreach regarding job vacancies at the station. We seek the help of local organizations in referring qualified applicants to our station. Organizations that wish to receive our vacancy information should email humanresources@wboc.com.
You rip and tear your old statements and bills, but thieves use this information to steal your identity. Don't be a victim. Get the ID Police, the new ink roller that encrypts all your old documents. So before you throw it out, just roll it on, and your information is gone, both on the front and through the back. Even if the paper is held up to the light, even your medical information is safe with the ID Police. So block it out before you throw it out. Order now and get your ID Police for as low as $9.99 and get free shipping too. This offer is not available on Amazon, so call or click now to get your ID Police for as low as $9.99 with free shipping. Order now.
Call 1-800-803-0512. That's 1-800-803-0512. Or visit getidpolice.com. So call 1-800-803-0512 now.
Get the Coast TV News app, the latest and most up-to-date stories for your coastal community. Download the Coast TV News app on your Apple or Android devices.
I've built a community, I've built a home here, and it's not pack up boxes every 3 years. It's a space that I'm invested in, my husband's invested in, and it really makes it just feel special. The stories that we cover every day, we also live every single day. So the stories that we tell are the ones that also impact us. We speak with people at the grocery store, our neighbors, our colleagues, our friends. We're all in this together.
Coast TV, our community, your news, where every story hits close to home.
A live look outside at Salisbury this morning. This cold morning, Bob, we see some cars out there driving. The wind conditions are better than if you were driving yesterday morning, but I think we're all preparing for what's to come with this cold weather.
That's right. It's very cold out there, and at least the winds have backed off a little bit. We've gone from windy to breezy out there. Here's the storyline. Wind gusts of 25 today. Wind chills will be in the 20s. You want to bundle up, and still that chance of snow later Wednesday into Thursday. I think significant snow southern tip of Delmarva, but then in our neck of the woods, kind of a minor snowfall. We still have winter storm watches now for Sussex County. This goes until Thursday evening, and then from Cambridge to Salisbury and Snow Hill, also a winter storm watch. In this pink color, it's a winter storm warning from Chincoteague and Point South. You could see at least a half a foot of snow for you. 31 in Ocean City now, 30 in Bethany Beach, 29 in Delmar, 29 in Georgetown right now. And the winds are gusting over 20 miles per hour at the coast and pretty gusty inland as well. So it feels like 25 with the wind in Delmar, 20 in Georgetown, 21 in Renton. So you really want to bundle up. We do have some cloud cover out there right now. We'll call it partly cloudy as we have a northwesterly flow. That Arctic air continues to pour in. Here's that snowy system we're watching now, spreading snow across the plains, and it will continue to track to the east, and I think enough to our south where we'll avoid a big snowstorm here across Sussex County. Futurecast, we're looking at upper 20s this morning, but feeling colder with that breeze. By 10 a.m., we're still stuck in the upper 20s. By 2:30, lower 30s some places, not getting above freezing, and with that wind feeling much colder and a cold evening. Temperatures falling through the 20s into the upper teens tomorrow morning with the cloud cover by 10 a.m. Teens and lower 20s, and by 1 o'clock it's cloudy and it is cold, and we could be seeing heavy snow. Southern tip of Delmarva back through Norfolk and eastern parts of North Carolina with a lighter snow across our neck of the woods. So our travel disruptions not as bad as it will be farther to the south with significant snow in that direction. We'll track that system. You can see the heaviest snow from Norfolk into southern tip of Delmarva, and some of that snow getting up into Salisbury and Ocean View with the heaviest snow along the coast and just lighter snow across Sussex County. And then we see that storm blow up as it moves offshore. Still a few snow showers across Sussex County into the afternoon tomorrow, and then much colder. Not a lot of snow for Sussex County, less than an inch from Highway 9 up here to the north, only about about 2/10 in Ellendale, maybe an inch or so in Millsboro, and then farther south, about an inch or so in Salisbury, about 2 inches into Ocean City. And feels like temperatures are cold today into the upper teens, and then feeling like 20s into the afternoon. And by tomorrow morning, feeling like 10 to 15 degrees and 20s into the afternoon. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 34 today. That we do have a code red for the potential of heavier snow, but I think that potential is farther to our south. 30 on Wednesday, 31 with morning snow showers Thursday, Friday, sunshine 39. We're warming up through the 40s this weekend. Then by Monday, partly cloudy and 50 degrees.
Thank you, Bob. On Monday, Delaware saw demonstrators gather at the state capitol, protesters taking aim at President Trump and Elon Musk. One person who helped organize the protest says they're calling on legislators to stand up to the Trump administration and what they call an authoritarian leadership.
Federal workforce are the most dedicated professionals. It's not a partisan thing. It's about doing right for America. Those people sacrifice because they don't make that much money working for the federal government. They do it because they want to help America and Americans.
This comes as protests criticizing the Trump administration also took place in Illinois, Wisconsin, and Washington, D.C. on Monday.
Yeah, part of this is because of cuts being made, according to the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency. Here are some of what they considered wasteful spending of taxpayer dollars. $19 million spent on hotel rooms in New York City for illegal immigrants, $20 million to create a Sesame Street TV program in Iraq, $1 million for foreign DEI programs, $2.5 million for an electric vehicle program in Vietnam.
It's a cold morning out there. It's breezy too. 28 in Dover on the Bay Health Cam. The cold continues, but not as windy, and we are watching for some snow later Wednesday into Thursday with some accumulation. And then we're looking at a warmer weekend on the way. I'll have your 10-day forecast coming up.
Capture your favorite moments at the CoastTV photo booth. Strike a pose and snap a pic, all for free. View previous pictures and see the next event at coasttv.com under the Features tab. The CoastTV photo booth, sponsored by Baths by Spicer Brothers.
The Harry K Foundation presents its annual chocolate crawl on Saturday, April 26th in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Enjoy delectable chocolate creations and then vote for your favorite to win top prize. For tickets and info, visit harrykfoundation.org/events.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new, clinically proven Legzercise Pro. The natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
After using Legzercise for a week, I felt like I wanted to go for a walk again without pain like I used to.
Legzercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
It's helped with the swelling and the pain. The tingling feeling is gone.
Call right now and order your very own Legzercise Pro, the clinically proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call now.
Flashing lights. See them, and you know to go slow. Now we put that same technology in the palm of your hand with Lizard Flare. It's the high-tech safety flare with no flame. Lizard Flare uses 15 high-intensity LED strobes that can be seen nearly a mile away, and a powerful magnet that sticks to your car without exiting the vehicle. Look, flares are dangerous, but Lizard Flare won't let you down. A dead battery, an empty gas tank. With Lizard Flare, help is on the way. Lizard Flare Pro has an ultra-bright flashlight too.
Get your Lizard Flare for only $9.99, but wait, Lizard Flare may be discontinued. Due to rising costs, Lizard Flare is stopping manufacturing effective immediately. There is a strict limit of 2 vehicle packs per order. Call now.
This may be your last chance, so call 1-800-604-4696. That's 1-800-604-4696 or visit lizardflare.com now.
The food chief at the Food and Drug Administration has resigned. A Health and Human Services official says Jim Jones left because he did not agree with the Trump administration's agenda to, quote, make America healthy again. As food chief, Jones oversaw food safety and nutrition, including policy changes for labeling food as healthy and banning the use of red dye number 3.
Pope Francis will require a change in his medical treatment after tests indicate a, quote, complex clinical picture. In a statement on Monday, the Vatican said that the Pope had a polymicrobial infection of his respiratory tract, which will require further hospitalization. The Vatican said Pope Francis slept well and ate breakfast on Monday, but did not indicate when he may be released.
Shakira kicked off her latest world tour just days ago in Rio de Janeiro, but she was forced to cancel her show in Peru on Sunday. She was hospitalized. She took to her Instagram informing fans of her hospitalization due to an abdominal condition. She went on to assure concertgoers that her team was already working on a new show date.
And the time is now 5:54, so we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Today's coastal pet of the day, living his best life on your screen. It's Stoli, as you can see from that big smile on his face. He has no worries, nothing to complain about.
It's
what
a nice
life.
Yeah.
Seems very happy. And this happy boy was submitted to us by Kathy in Longneck.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Yep, you can scan that QR code at the top there. That way you can get your friends to us at Coast TV News and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
And it is now 5:55, so we're going to get another quick look at your cold forecast.
Yeah, bundle up for another cold day, Bob.
Yeah, it's cold. It is cold for sure. We're looking at temperatures this morning in the 20s, not rising much today as we're beginning in the upper 20s, and winds not as strong as they have been, but gusting to 25 today, and temperatures just getting above freezing a little bit later today. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. We are expecting some snow later Wednesday and Thursday with a code red, not looking significant, about 1 to 3 inches, but heavier amounts southern tip of Delmarva. Friday, sunshine 39, warming through the 40s this weekend, and then next week looking much better with low to mid 50s, no big storms, maybe a few showers on Tuesday.
All right, thanks, Bob. Coming up in our next hour, bypass problems, how the latest part of the project is creating issues for people who live near the Millsboro project. That and more when Coast TV News Today continues.